Absolutely. I mean, the more rich the media environment gets, I think the more important that radio's place is. I suppose the main difference nowadays is everyone has less time and more choice. So actually, what you've got to do is make sure that you are a medium that stands out and that people can find time to spend with. So the beauty of radio is, I think, it's probably one of the only mediums that you can consume whilst doing something else. So the very power of radio is the fact that it's a secondary medium. So most people are engaged in another activity whilst they're doing something else, and that in turn means that ad avoidance is very low, because where you might, for example, traditionally with television, you might fast forward the ads if you're on demand watching now, or might go and make a cup of tea, as people used to do. With radio, you're doing something else, so you don't stop to avoid the adverts, and so you've obviously got less ad avoidance and less clutter because you're not surrounded by other ads as well. And if you count to 30 seconds quite slowly, that's the average amount of time you have to hold that listener's attention. It's actually quite a long time. If you were to sit in silence for 30 seconds, you do actually take a lot of their attention, and as I said, it goes in a very subconscious way. So it's extremely powerful. A number of reasons it works particularly. It's intrusive for all those reasons that I said. People carry that about with them. It's flexible, which is important to a lot of advertisers nowadays, because they have to change their strategies quite quickly. Whether you need to respond to the weather, whether you need to update the lottery users regularly to say there's been a rollover, etc. It might be right. We need to do something. We need to shift a number of cars at the end of the month, so they need to put on a sale. So all of these things we can react to quite quickly, even closing down sales, unfortunately. But people or advertisers are finding perhaps their traditional mediums aren't working as hard as they need to or they used to. So they're trying new things, and that's where radio comes in, and we can move very quickly with them. In terms of the brand relationship as well, the way people consume radio, it's intimate, it's company. I suppose most people, when you think about it, have grown up with a radio station, and they view it as a friend. They've got a personal relationship to it, and with all the surrounding social media, now people engage with radio a lot more. They always engage with radio more than other things. I mean, you wouldn't ever really write into a TV station or maybe a magazine, but that was very, very infrequent. With radio, people would write in. They'll write into competitions. They ring in now. They text in. They Twitter, their Facebook, etc. So that relationship becomes very personal and very close. Targeting as well. We can actually be as big or as small as a campaign needs. So. From the radio point of view, we can actually target a certain area of Kent, for example. With Hart, we can target east or west, or we can go sort of network right across the UK with any of the brands. With the 7 brands that we operate. So you can make sure that you're targeting not only geographically but also to the right audience. So if you came to me and said, actually, I need to hit city listeners, affluent, then we talk to you about XFM, for example, in London, but then also we can geographically target through the internet as well, and our online and our websites, and advertise online based on postcodes as well. So it's extremely targeted, and we can make it fit many budgets, and obviously the main thing is actually how do you make sure you're in the marketplace at the right time. Is there any time that a brand doesn't need to be in the marketplace? Not for many. So it's actually looking at the way that radio can deliver a message frequently over a long amount of time, but relatively cheaply. So with a lot of buying decisions, they're perhaps not made very often. So you have to make sure that you're there or thereabouts when that person comes to make that decision. And with the way that you can buy different radio packages or sponsorships, etc., we can make sure that you are in that marketplace for as long as possible. So the more cluttered the media environment gets, the better it is for radio, I think. So it's absolutely a boom period, I think, for radio.